Hello and welcome to the 2 Banks and 4 podcast, episode 8, with myself, Harry Moore, as usual, and not so usual, my co-host Tommy Ratib. Tommy, you're back. How's it been, my friend?
If you're going to carry on like this, I'll just walk away right now.
So, we all know Spurs have not been doing the best, I think it's fair to say. So, do you want to give us a little...
We're not here to talk about Spurs at the moment, H. To be honest, we'll do it. You two can do it next week.
All I'm going to say is Tommy did call the Spurs disaster class that was upcoming many weeks ago. So if anyone wants to reference back to that, then there's always
episode 4, wasn't that?
I think it was episode 4. Yeah, It was in and around episode 3, 4, 5, something like that. But you went to Spurs Watford, correct?
Yep.
So tell us. It was a pretty dismal 1-1 draw, wasn't it?
Oh, mate, yeah. Do you know what? To be fair to Watford, they could have had at least 2 or 3. It was a shame because Danny Welbeck got subbed off in about the second minute and they brought on Deulofeu. And it's like, how are you not starting Deulofeu and you're starting Danny Welbeck?
I don't think I'll ever understand why they don't start Deulofeu. I mean,
no.
For all we know, there's problems there that Watford fans know that he's not consistent enough or something. Because it's clear.
But he's better than the Danny Welbeck, isn't he? Any Danny Welbeck on his day is not better than a Gerard Deulofeu when he's not very good.
Is it fair to say that some people are better off the bench as impact players, and is Deulofeu one of them? Because he's clearly got the talent, but why didn't it work for him at Barcelona? Why didn't it work for him at Everton?
Oh no, I reckon it did work for him at Everton, to be honest. But I don't know. To be honest, H, I just think I think he was really good against Spurs. Probably should have had another penalty, shouldn't they? That Vertonghen tackle.
Yeah, that was disgraceful. I don't know how that wasn't given. But anyway, moving on to the podcast as a whole. Today, we're going to be talking about various topics. We're going to be going back to our kind of old style with the 4 topics, 15 minutes long. We kind of steered off a bit from that in recent podcasts, just because it's been so lacklustre with the international break. There's not much to talk about. You know, I mean, we say this every week. The international break is absolutely criminal. I mean, I don't know what to actually talk about when it's going on. Obviously there was the racism in Bulgaria, but apart from that there was no really standout kind of talk about moments that happened.
Yeah.
But anyway, in this podcast we're going to be breaking it up, as we just said. First things first, we're going to be talking about pundits and football pundits on TV. And this is a debate that seemed to be sparked ever since Roy Keane's joined the Sky Sports Super Sunday team. Lots of people have been saying, who are the best pundits around and where would you rank the pundits? And I saw a thing on Twitter that ranked the pundits that we see every weekend on our TV screens and that tier maker kind of thing. And, you know, I thought, well, why don't we try and rank these pundits ourselves and put them into categories? So we're going to be working for a few pundits that were picked out both from BT, Sky and BBC. And we're going to be just putting them into categories, and we'll be touching on that in a bit more detail because it's our first topic just in a minute. Moving on from that, it's going to be Southampton. So, Tommy, I know you don't feel like the problem at Southampton is that deep.
No.
Me, on the other hand, I do. So we're going to be having a little bit of debate about that. Further on, Xhaka. Obviously, Xhaka's been the main talking point this week, I think. The treatment of him by the Arsenal fans and the treatment of the Arsenal fans by him. There are lots of people saying he should never play for Arsenal again. Lots of people saying that he should be stripped of his captaincy. It's one we'll touch on. And to finish the podcast, we're going to be talking about Leicester and realistically where they're at. Well, they're obviously flying high right now in third, but who knows with the Premier League? For all we know, they could finish mid-table and drop off. I feel like if Jamie Vardy gets injured, then they're going to be in a lot of trouble. But that's just me. Tommy might have a different opinion, but we'll be touching on that at the end. So, to start the podcast, we're talking about pundits. So, Tommy, to anyone listening at home that doesn't kind of I mean by pundit and like what you describe a pundit as, do you want to like give us a bit of detail?
Basically, someone who's paid to talk about football.
Usually an ex-pro.
Yeah, or an ex-manager or whatever. I mean, we're not professional pundits yet because we don't get paid, but one day we still won't be.
Yeah, that's absolutely correct. I mean, you don't see pundits who aren't ex-players or ex-managers. It's fair to say.
We mean best that we've ever got to is Sunday League down the park, innit?
Yeah, exactly. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with Sunday League down the park. But anyway, a pundit, it's the kind of person that you'll see in a studio at half-time, before a game and after a game, talking about the players, talking about the tactics, talking about the club. We see shows like Super Sunday and Soccer Saturday and Monday Night Football, especially Monday Night Football, where Gary Neville and Jamie Carragher will go into intense detail about the game and the games at the weekend, and they'll also answer questions from the people at home. So that's one of my favourite footballing shows, Monday Night Football, particularly for that reason. But we're going to rank some pundits today. And what makes, for you, first of all, what makes a good pundit?
I think that to qualify as a good pundit, you've got to have been somewhere near the top level of the game. I think that really better managers are more trustworthy than better players, to be honest, because in some examples, like really good players don't actually know a lot about football.
See, here's why my opinion differs to that. I think there's only a select small amount of clubs that are at the top of the top. If you're a player that's been hovering around the mid-Premier League, I'll try and think of an example. Say, who was a player that was just mid-table for their whole career?
Robbie Savage.
Robbie Savage. I don't think he's a good pundit, but someone at his level who's experienced the game at the most common... Because let's be honest, if you're a mid-table to bottom-table player, that's the most common kind of area of football you're going to be in. You're not, unless you're very lucky and talented and you're a player who's played for the top 10, no, the top 6, top 4, you're not going to qualify as one of those pundits. I think the pundits like Jermaine Genius, who weren't at the top of the top, but kind of hovered around the middle of the Premier League and towards the bottom, they've seen every aspect of the game, in my opinion, so they know exactly what they're talking about.
But have you ever played with players on your team that don't actually know anything about football, but they are really good players?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
They're all over the place. It's common. Not many people know that much about what they're actually playing. It's fair to say. But
which is why some of the best managers turn out to be the worst. No, which is why some of the best players turn out to be the worst managers.
And here's the thing. I do think a good thing about a pundit is that they're brutally honest. I don't like pundits who skip around the bullet and kind of don't say it head on, because they got links to a football club or something. We see it with Rio Ferdinand and Man United, and we see it with...
But you can be brutally honest and still be completely wrong in most of your opinions.
Yeah, you can be, but it's better than kind of saying it for a political reason or a business reason. You know what I mean? So it's very rare that Rio Ferdinand will speak out against Man United, because it's clear he wants the job as the director of football, and he's still on the Glazers' payroll. Yeah. Hence why he'll never talk about Man United. For me, that's biased punditry, and you're not giving the viewer the full details that they need. If something's wrong at Man United, I want to be watching Rio Ferdinand and tell me what's wrong. That's what I'm paying my subscription monthly for. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But anyway, the sections we're going to be ranking these pundits into today is top of the top class pundit. So this is a pundit that you get everything from. They say their opinion, they say it and back it up. They're brutally honest in some aspects, but they're correct. They talk about the tactics used, and they can tell you exactly what's going on in the manager's head and where a club's going. That's, for me, a top class pundit, and I think that's similar lines to what you're saying as well. One below that is a good, solid pundit. So they have their moments where they're a bit wonky, a bit biased, but overall they're good. They know what they're talking about, and they give the viewer a good insight into the game. Below that, average, could be worse. So your pundit, if you turn on your TV, you don't mind that they're on your TV screen, they're going to be talking, but they could be better. There's room for improvement. That's what that section is going to be. Below that, we've got poor and biased. So this is very common. Being biased is very common for a pundit, and I understand it's hard. If you've played for a club your whole career, like Paul Scholes on BT Sport, he's played for Man United his whole career, and then he's meant to be sat there slagging them off for half an hour.
I think it's harder to praise your direct rivals to slag off your own team, because I quite happily slag off Spurs all day, but I can't ever say that Arsenal or West Ham and that, I can't ever give them any credit. I think it's more difficult for pundits.
I didn't really look at that side of things. That is true. It's obviously going to be very hard to give credit to a rival. I think I'd struggle to give credit to Birmingham City, even if they did do something incredibly well. It's just a natural thing. That is one of the harder things. And if a pundit can do that, then heads off. Like, I think Gary... Hats off.
That's second one today.
I think Gary Neville... Neville's the best at that, at praising Liverpool and City.
Yeah.
I think he does that very well, and he has to... Obviously, you see him when you saw the video where Liverpool scored against Man United, and he's hurting.
Yeah.
But then he'll still praise Liverpool because they've done something right. You know what I mean?
It's about staying professional, isn't it?
Exactly. And the lowest tier we've gone for is get off my TV. So this is the pundit. You turn on your TV, you're sitting back, you're ready to watch a bit of football on Saturday, and you see him or her, and you think, nah, not having it. I'd rather just wait till the game starts. So I'm going to hit you with a few pundits, Tommy. We're going to be discussing them. First of all, I'm going to start with the big boys. Jamie Carragher and Gary Neville.
I think they're brilliant. I think their chemistry is so good. They got great banter. Even if you're like just a casual football fan, you don't really know that much about them. You can actually watch them and enjoy what they do because they clearly know. They clearly know a lot about the game. Tactically, they know about play. They know about. They've been around just for so long, and they'll just know pretty much every single case of like what a player's mind's going through.
I think with them as well, if you've ever watched that video by Sky where they're behind the scenes with Carragher and Neville before the game, the amount of research they'll do before the match to make sure they've got the right clips they want to use, to make sure they've got the right evidence and stats.
It's a bit better than us with just one piece of paper in it and
exactly.
Just shit.
They don't.
That's why we'll never get that level.
Yeah, because we haven't got the financial backing. So if anyone wants to sponsor the podcast, drop a message. I'm going to be complaining. But anyway, I think Neville and Carragher goes out saying they're the best, and there's a reason they're employed by Sky and on most of their shows. They know exactly what they're talking about. The chemistry you talk about is extremely important as well. You can compare that to Sutton and Savage on BT. The blokes hate each other, and you can tell when they're doing it. It's not kind of bitchy and argumentative. Whereas with Carragher and Neville, They both played at a similar level. Neville obviously at a higher level, but Carragher, they're both one club men overall.
Yeah.
Maybe you could argue that from a fan's point of view in the middle of the league, you don't get much representation, but
no, they still know what they're going on about, don't they? No.
Yeah, you'd like to think so, but no, I agree. So I'm guessing you put them in top class pundit.
Yeah.
I'll put them top class.
Yeah.
Moving on to... I'm going to go for the match of the day, boys. Keown and Genus. And Shearer, if you want to.
I don't actually watch Match Day that often, to be honest. I do see Genus always on BT. I think he's alright. I don't think he really says anything that I totally disagree on. He's got a very sort of Spurs bias as well, which I love. I'd put him in the good, solid pundit. Keown, here's the thing with Keown, and this goes for a lot of players that have played 90s and early 2000s and that, in the fact that the game has changed so much, and a lot of people don't actually a lot of people are really old school with their tactics or with just the way that they are.
I completely agree with you. I think that's one of the massive problems we see with punditry nowadays. It's all fun and games for a player from the late 90s to be talking about what a footballer does now in basically the start of 2020. Like, nearly 20 years ago. Times have changed massively.
Yeah.
If you're a 90s player judging a 2000 player who's in their prime in 2015, that doesn't work, because what you did in the 90s, they're not going to be doing now.
Yeah.
What football has changed. The likes of Wenger have came in, and he changed football. Like, with the methods he went. People don't go to the pub anymore after football games like they used to.
Yeah.
Now people go home and they recover. They go for a swim.
It's a natural. A natural cycle, and I just think that some pundits just don't really keep up. I don't watch much often, but Keown's never really said anything. I think that's really retarded.
Genus, so good solid pundit.
I'd put Genus a solid pundit. Keown I'd put average, to be honest. But to be fair, I don't watch him that much. Shearer.
Here's why I've got a bone to pick with Shearer.
Go on then.
So, if you've ever been to a Premier League game this season, you'll see before the game they have this little corny video of Shearer on the screen talking about VAR. Have you seen the one?
Yeah.
If you watch Match of the Day, he will always back VAR to the death. It is clear.
Oh, I hate VAR.
It is clear. They have put a pay packet on his desk and said, "You back VAR on everything you do.
Yeah.
We'll pay you this." And for me, that is criminal. That is absolutely criminal. Is it not?
Yeah, I didn't actually know you massively back VAR. We'll talk about VAR sometime in the next few podcasts and that. But we both hate it, so
I despise it.
Does Aki like it or not?
Well, he should do. If Liverpool get lucky off it, but I think it's hard for him to say because he hasn't been to any Liverpool games this season.
Yeah.
But as a fan, when you're there, it ruins it.
Yeah.
It ruins it.
In terms of Shearer as a natural pundit, again, don't really watch much of the day. He's not really on anything else.
Overall, I do think he is a good. Just what I'm saying about the VAR, I do think he is a good pundit.
Yeah.
I'd put him in average with Kieran.
I reckon average.
Average pundit.
Bang average.
Moving on to a few of the Sky boys.
Yeah.
Not the main men like Carragher and Neville.
Yeah.
We're going to have a look at Souness, Henry and Redknapp.
Alright, first of all, Henry, I don't actually think he's a very good pundit because, not going to lie, I can't actually understand what he's saying. And
really?
Yeah, genuinely, I can't understand. He hasn't been on Sky this year, I don't think. But I genuinely just couldn't understand what he was saying. And take that what you want. But you've got to actually have someone that everyone's going to understand, don't they? Strike... Again, you don't know how much he actually knows about football because obviously he's gone off to manage Monaco, wasn't it? Didn't do a very good job there.
Terrible job, in fact.
Yeah. To be honest, I'd put him as like a poor pundit for me. But that's not really his fault. I just you can't be hiring people that.
I did like the way he talked about the attacking play. When they were analysing the attacking phases of play, I did like that. But overall, I just feel like I feel like defenders would always make the best pundits because they see the game from the back.
It's common knowledge that
defenders make the best managers.
Defenders are the cleverest positions,
because you've got to look forward and analyse the rest of the pitch. You know what's happening.
Yeah, not being biased or anything.
A striker, you literally just manage your runs and you make sure that the things are happening up front.
In all fairness, a striker is the hardest position to play on the pitch.
Goalkeeper.
Nah.
Yeah.
Nah. Are you serious?
The mental strength.
Do you actually understand why strikers bought for the most money? It's the hardest position to find a good striker.
But, mate, come on. Goalkeepers. You've got to be a talented goalkeeper. It's the hardest job on the pitch. It's different to any other position.
Nah.
Yes. They even deny it.
I back a striker. It's so... Everyone knows that a striker is the most difficult position to find.
A striker misses a sitter, yeah?
Yeah.
But
that doesn't make it...
It goes away next week. Goalkeeper makes a howler, that stays with him.
I know, but
Rob Green, what do you think of when I say Rob Green?
Well, we all know what we fucking think.
What do you think of when I say Kane? You don't think of him not passing to Sterling in the World Cup, do you?
To be fair, I can't even remember him not passing to Sterling.
Exactly.
It's blocked from my memory, but... It is so common knowledge, though, that strikers are the most difficult position to find. That's why they get paid the most money. That's why they get bought for the most money.
So, Souness.
What did we put on Henry again? Poor, yeah. Souness. I do like the fact that he is so anti-Man United. It's brilliant. Did you ever see the little argument that he had with Gary Neville about Man United needing to buy a striker?
Yeah, with Lukaku, the whole Lukaku debate in Rashford.
About how he basically thinks that United need a goal scorer. To be honest, I disagreed with him on that one because Gary Neville actually did bring up a really good point about Firmino and Liverpool, didn't he? I like
Souness.
I like Souness. I think he's very enthusiastic about his work. I'd put him at an average.
Average, yeah, I think that's fair. I think there's a reason he's not on Monday Night Football. Maybe he lacks that bit of youth and charisma that Neville and Carragher have. Like, obviously, they're not the youngest, but in terms of punditry...
they've played the game a lot more recently, haven't they?
Exactly. They know what they're on about.
Yeah.
Redknapp. I know you're not a big fan of Redknapp's punditry.
He chats so much shit. He is... Oh, man. The guy does not actually know anything about football. I'm sticking him on a... I'm going to be generous because he used to play for Spurs. I'm sticking him on a poor pundit.
Poor pundit, I think that's fair. Everyone knows the famous clip of when he says, "This is the corner flag," and highlights the corner flag. I think that thing's been circulating.
No contest football.
That's been circulating around Twitter for a good few years now.
To be fair, he probably made a really good point afterwards. That was the Stanislas goal against Man United. He probably went into like some really big detailed depth. Everyone was just too busy laughing at the first bit.
Exactly. Right, so we're moving on to some more of the BT Sport lads. Rio and McManaman. Can I say, McManaman, have I ever heard a more biased Liverpool pundit ever. No.
Isn't it funny that we're just Liverpool bashing at the moment?
I feel like he's more biased to Liverpool than Souness is. But here's the difference. He's usually the co-commentator with Darren Fletcher on BT Sport.
Yeah.
Neville's usually the co-commentator with Martin Tyler on Sky Sports. You look at the two companies, Sky and BT. I think that the way BT have their like setup, I think it's class. But the punditry, Neville will bash Man United and praise Liverpool if it comes to it. Will McManaman? I don't think he will.
I think that a lot of the BT pundits who go on to be like co-commentators, like I think Glenn Hoddle was a really crap co-commentator. I think McManaman's a really crap co-commentator. Dan Savage co-commentates sometimes as well. He's terrible as a co-commentator. Awful. Genius is not. I just think that co-commentators like.
There's a lot of bias. The best pundits and co-commentators will always be the ones who don't resort to bias. Let's be fair.
Yeah, it's natural though, isn't it?
Can I say the best? He's not on this list, yeah. The best pundit I've seen, and this when Villa got relegated to the Championship for those
Stan Collymore. You're going to say Stan Collymore, aren't you? Are you not? Right.
Those 3 years, obviously watching the EFL shows and like the EFL games, any Championship supporting like football fan will agree that Liam Rosenior.
Yeah, he's good.
Is the best pundit in the game right
now.
Very,
very recent as well.
He's very recent, and honestly, it's so refreshing. He talks so much sense.
It comes to it when even my dad said he speaks well.
Literally. I mean,
that's when you know you've made it as a pundit.
People argue for Danny Higginbottom as well in Sky Sports, like in the.
Yeah, but he's always on the daytime when nobody watches it, and that's crap. That is. That's like if you're pulling a sickie at home and that.
You see, you listen to Danny Higginbottom. Oh God. Care.
And Stephen Warnock and that, Jesus.
Right, so where were you going to put McManaman?
I forgot about it. McManaman.
I'd put him on Get Off My TV.
Oh, no, I reckon average.
Average?
We'll put him as a poor then. We'll compromise.
Meet the middleman, yeah. And the other one was Rio. Actually, we'll go Rio and Hoddle.
Nah, they're two completely very different. Glenn Hoddle, I don't like as a co-commentator. I don't really like as a pundit. Obviously, he was meant to be a really good manager at England, but that didn't really work out. With Spurs, not the best, but it was just in the middle of like a really, really bad patch. I don't know. I just think that he just chats a lot of shit as well, Glenn Hoddle, as we both do. But
we're not being.
Yeah.
The difference is he's getting paid
big buck.
Hundreds of thousands of pounds to do it.
He's getting paid big buck, and we're getting paid no buck.
And again, any sponsors? Shit's up.
I don't know. I'd stick him as like a poor pundit, Glenn Hoddle.
Poor.
Yeah. We're putting a lot of people in poor.
I feel that's a bit harsh. I feel like we're being very harsh, but
yeah,
we're the viewers.
That's what we're not paid to do.
Yeah, exactly.
Sponsors.
Rio, I think I bash him up to average. Could be worse. If you cut out Man United out of his punditry game, I think he's a very good pundit.
Do you actually remember when they beat PSG away? And he's just slapped.
Slap the contract on the table. Slap the contract on the table. He's at the wheel.
My God. To be fair, you couldn't
Man United are back, baby.
You couldn't help but get carried away, could you? If you was associated to United.
Don't you remember all the United fans in that period thinking, "Fucking hell, we're actually
yeah." Yeah, do you know what? I'll give him an average because, to be fair, he's not bad.
Average for Rio Ferdinand. Right. Roy Keane. I'm going in there, slapping him in good, solid pundit.
No.
Yes.
No. Just because you're a straight talker doesn't mean you talk straight.
I think he's talking good sense, though.
No.
That Man United, right, so they're talking about the striker issue. He says how it is. Go and
get Kane.
Yeah.
Oh, do you know what? Fuck it. Let's just go and get all 11 of the best players in the world and just stick them in the United team.
Kane. Why wouldn't Kane get United?
Why wouldn't Kane go to United?
Yeah.
Who's got more chance of getting trophies, win the league? Spurs do.
United.
Nah.
Yeah.
If he stays at Spurs, he will be a legend forever.
Will he?
I'm not. Nah. You can't You might as well just say, why don't you just go and get Ronaldo? Just go and get Messi. Stupid. Thickos.
No, because Kane's a realistic target, I think.
Nah, he's not. Not for Man United. Do you know how much? So bear in mind that he is basically top 3 best players in the league. B, he's under contract with Daniel Levy. and you do realise how much of a harsh negotiator Daniel Levy is.
Still,
Daniel Levy will treble the price of what Kane is worth. If Kane's worth 300, Levy will ask for 900.
What if Kane wants to go?
But he won't. Kane won't want to go.
Are you sure about that?
Yes, I am 100%
Where have we seen this
certain.
before? We've seen this kind of thing before. Sol Campbell?
That was different. He's different though, isn't he?
Yeah.
Completely
Whatever.
different. That is completely
I'm
different.
slapping Keane and good solid pundit.
No, I'm not.
Taking the ball on this one.
No, get off my TV. Get off my TV. No.
Good solid pundit.
No.
Good solid pundit.
Mate, you do really. You
Don't
look at where he's been.
Don't you find it refreshing?
No, I don't. Not when he's just chatting shit. You look at where he's been. Yeah, great player, but Sunderland couldn't get them out of relegation.
He promoted Sunderland. He got him into the Prem.
Got sacked for Ricky Sprazier.
Yeah, but he did the hardest part of the job.
No.
Same as Sunderland was a hard job.
Ipswich couldn't do nothing with them. Ireland probably had a team that should have been going to at least Euros, maybe even World Cup. They're not going to Euros at the moment.
Yeah,
mate.
he's not in it. He's not the manager, the assistant manager anymore.
Yeah, but he was at the start of qualification, wasn't he?
Yeah, but he still got them to the Euros in his qualification that he was with them.
Nah, he don't. Nah, I'm not. I'm not Roy Keane.
Oh, well, I'm putting him good solid pundit.
Oh, fuck you.
Michael Owen, get off my TV.
Probably, yeah.
Do you mean probably? He's terrible.
Yeah.
The man chats rubbish, and also I don't like this whole thing that he did to promote his book. I know the beef on Twitter we saw. It was just a publicity stunt, wasn't it? Really?
I don't actually understand it. But if it's a book, you're allowed to say what you want in a book.
Yeah, I know.
If it's your autobiography, you're not gonna spin your words, are you?
No.
Alex Ferguson basically chats shit about a load of United players in this book, and he's still regarded as the greatest ever manager, isn't he?
I'm putting Michael Owen, get off my TV now.
Nah.
Yes.
I'd put him at poor,
No.
but not get off my TV.
I think he's terrible, and any football fan watching will agree. So we've got a few more here. I'll probably rattle through these a bit quicker. Mourinho,
Brilliant.
from what he's showing, he's just his knowledge. And
He knows the players as well. He knows a lot of players still playing in the league. He's great.
His depth of knowledge is incredible.
Oh,
I think
mate,
it will.
brilliant.
It will be not long before he's back in the job, surely.
I hope so, yeah.
If Arsenal
For
were to
his
sack
sake.
Emery,
He won't go Arsenal.
if Arsenal were to sack Emery,
He won't go Arsenal.
Spurs, would you take him at Spurs?
Of course I'd take him at Spurs. I'd take anyone at Spurs. I'd take you at Spurs at the moment. Fucking hell,
I'll
H.
Spurs Champions League. Yeah, Mourinho, top class.
Brilliant, yeah.
It's just a shame he's not on more, really. But he will be in a job, let's be honest. It's not going to be long, so we need to make the most of him while we can. To finish off, that's the tier done, as you can see on the screen now. That's what we've gone for. We've gone for Keane as a good solid pundit. Michael Owen, get off my TV. Keown, average. Genus, good solid pundit. Neville, top class pundit. Carragher, top class. Rio, average. Hoddle, poor. McManaman, poor. Alex Scott, average. Redknapp, poor. Mourinho, top class. Souness, average. Omri, poor. And Shearer, average. So that's that. Moving on to the next topic, Southampton. You don't think the damage at Southampton is that bad? Can you tell me why?
Listen, if you ever played a game of football in your life and you've had a bad day at the office and you've come up against a team who are on top form, there's not a lot you could do. Yeah, I understand conceding a goal, yeah, it's not great, but conceding 9 goals in a game, it's inexcusable, really. But I'm still going to make excuses for them anyway. At 1-0 down, they had a player sent off.
Vice captain as well.
Yeah.
Quite big.
Probably one of their best players. I don't think that Hasenhuttl actually had a plan B, and that's probably his fault. But when you're coming up against a red hot team like Leicester and stuff ain't going your way, to be fair, if you look at all of Leicester's goals, they were genuinely good goals.
See, here's the thing I think with Southampton. I think Southampton are going through a very similar stage to what Villa were going through when Randy Leonard pulled the money out. One of those teams that seems to just survive every single year and hang on by the skin of their teeth. You know what I mean? They flirt with relegation year in, year out.
There's 3 worse teams than them in the league.
And when they're supposedly that season where it's all ending, the season Villa went down, we took batterings off Southampton and we took batterings off Liverpool and multiple other teams, City as well. If that isn't matching up to what Southampton are going through now, if they got battered by like Chelsea 6-0, it'd be nearly identical, because 9-0, I was almost surprised that Hasenhuttl didn't resign. stress of the game. Because it's common, you do see that.
Anything can happen in a game of football.
9 goals.
Mate, anything can happen.
Right, Premier League 1992 formed, right?
Yeah.
So we're looking at about 29 years?
Yeah. Fucking, I don't know. Is it that long?
It must be near it. Okay, more than 25 years.
Yeah.
And they've just joined the equal scoreline defeat. That's bad. There's been some terrible teams in the Prem. That is bad.
Yeah, but mate, when it's just not your day, when playing with 10 men is hard. Playing with 10 men when you're lacking on confidence is worse. Playing with 10 men.
They got a draw against Wolves the week before.
Playing with 10 men when you're lacking in confidence against probably the most informed team in the league is never going to end well, is it?
How much of that game is owed to Leicester, in your opinion?
Most, if not all of it. They were absolutely brilliant.
They were brilliant, but
they were unplayable.
Terrible.
No, mate, Leicester were unplayable. I don't actually think Leicester put a foot wrong that day. If you actually go through Southampton's results, I'm just reading them out to you. They lost 3-0 to Burnley, which is not great, is it? You should really be getting at least a point from that game if you're Southampton. They lost home to Liverpool.
That's can't read.
So at the moment, from 6 available points, we say that they should have one.
Yeah.
They beat Brighton. They beat Fulham in the Cup. They drew at home to United. They beat Sheffield United. They lost at home to Bournemouth. That's fair enough, because sometimes when you play Bournemouth on their day, they are unplayable as well.
Bournemouth on their day are very good.
Portsmouth, they went and beat them 4-0. They lost at home. They lost away to Spurs, which they could have picked up a point in. Got battered by Chelsea, but it hasn't been battered by Chelsea. Yeah. 1-1 draw at Wolves, which is a good result for them.
I think that's a very good result.
And obviously the Leicester game. So, if you actually look at any of their results, could you say they should have done better in that game, apart from probably Bournemouth and Burnley?
I see where you're coming from, I do. But at the end of the day, there's some games you've got to be winning. You've got at least a point against Burnley. Like, come on. I don't know, maybe I'm being a bit biased, but either way. We're going to move on from Southampton purely because we got a lot more to speak about. We talked about the punditry tier for
running out of time.
For a hell of a lot of time. I think this is a bit more of a depthy subject. Granit Xhaka. Do you want to tell everyone what happened with Granit Xhaka this week?
So I believe I didn't actually watch the game because Spurs were playing at the same time. But Arsenal were drawing 2-2 with Palace. And Granit Xhaka got subbed. He's the Arsenal club captain at the moment. He got voted in because for some reason the manager actually puts the captain down to a vote within the players, which I think is stupid. He got voted in as captain. He got subbed off, and he basically started walking off when really Arsenal needed to get on with the game. And then the fans got on his back, and basically he started to get really pissed off. He started giving it large to the crowd, which I thought was hilarious. He started cupping his hands to his ear as though he just scored a goal on FIFA or something. He then got subbed off, gave airtime to the manager, and basically threw off his shirt. So I loved this. I thought this was absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, you loved it. As an Arsenal, if you were an Arsenal supporter, if that was a Spurs player, if that was who's Spurs captain at the moment,
Lloris, innit? If Lloris gets subbed off, I'm loving it. Well, I don't care how he goes off.
Let me flip that. Kane's captain, he does that.
But he wouldn't. I think it signifies a deeper problem at Arsenal at the minute than just that. Sorry. I think it signifies a deeper problem than just that at Arsenal at the minute. It's clearly a lack of leaders. I mean, obviously, if Shaq is your captain, then that's the first problem. He's not.
I think he's useless.
He's not a top 4 captain, is he? He's not gonna. I'm
gonna be honest. What does Xhaka bring to the team as a player?
Bang a long shot.
That's about it. I think he's a walking yellow card. If anything.
Yeah, he absolutely is.
A walking yellow card.
Yeah. I mean, he kind of puts himself about a bit, but he can't be getting in front of Torreira. I like Guendouzi as well.
Why isn't Torreira starting at Arsenal?
Oh, mate, I don't know. I don't think Unai Emery's a great manager. I think his team selection a lot of the time is wrong.
There's a lot more Unai out knocking around on social media now.
Yeah.
And the AFTV boys seem to be turning on the troops.
Oh, yeah, but fucking AFTV always say, whatever manager they'll ever have.
In all fairness, the troops on the AFTV, he's backed Unai up until last game.
Yeah.
And now he's Unai out. Claude, It's fair to say if you've seen the video.
You gotta love Claude.
You gotta love Claude.
I feel sorry for Claude. It's that Arsenal ain't doing no good to his old age.
I feel sorry for Claude having to be stuck with Ty because Ty's chat's so
mate,
much
Ty's a
shit.
prick. Yeah. But anyways, I think it signifies a deeper problem than just that one instant Arsenal. I don't think Xhaka should be playing anyway. If Emery put his club captain down to a vote and Xhaka won it, does Emery's hand now be forced to play Xhaka every game?
Well, first things first, you've got to question Emery even doing that.
That's
Who puts
stupid.
their power? If I'm manager, I choose my captain.
Yeah.
If you're manager, you choose your captain.
Yeah.
The players don't choose the captain. The captain stays with the manager because you think he's a top class player and influential leader.
Could you imagine if they voted Lacazette or someone like that, and now he's got to start Lacazette over Aubameyang every game?
No, exactly.
But anyway, I don't think Xhaka should be starting in front of Torreira. I like Guendouzi. I think he's a good ball player.
I like Guendouzi.
I think he should be starting in front of Xhaka as well.
Do you think Xhaka should ever play for Arsenal again?
Yeah.
I don't.
There's a lot of emotion in football, H. There's a lot.
I know there's a lot of emotion, but there's also disrespect in the fans. And there's one, I've said it before on this podcast. When you're the paying fan and you pay your money that you've earned to go watch a football team, especially at Arsenal, which is a lot of money, right? When you've got the players you're paying money to see, and they're disrespecting the badge and chucking their shirt on the floor and chucking the captain's armband on the floor, that to me really, really riles me. Because they're earning however much a week. You're paying your wages to go see them, and they're disrespecting the shirt and telling the fans to F off.
But does it not actually show that he actually cares? Is he not showing a bit of passion? He's pissed off to get subbed off, H. It shows that he wants to play.
No, he's pissed off because the fans have booed him because he was terrible. No. That's why.
He's pissed off because the fans wouldn't be booing him if they was winning the game. I think he's pissed off because he's playing shit. He doesn't want to come off. He's been subbed off, and then the fans are on his back. I think he's showing that he cares as club captain. Should he have done that? Probably not. But I don't think he should never play for Arsenal again because
strip the captaincy.
It's heat at the moment, though, isn't it?
Strip the captaincy, probably, or is that too far as well?
I mean, yeah, I would because I don't think he should have been captain in the first place. But
in the circumstances, though, he's obviously been given captain. That's facts. Should he now be stripped after the incident?
I think if he's stripped, he can't never play again. So I wouldn't strip him of the captaincy.
Yeah.
Because imagine what that's going to do to his confidence.
And send messages around the dressing room. We know how influential players are. The power of players is unbelievable now.
Yeah.
Compared to what it used to be. If one player is pissed off, the rest of the players will, support that player.
Yeah.
You even see it on Football Manager. You piss off one player, the rest of them storm into your room.
Yeah.
Telling you to
I have actually had that. Yeah.
I'll drop my keeper, and then the sub keeper will come into the room and have a go at me for dropping the keeper. I'm thinking, what are you doing?
I once sold a Drussiganagueye. No, I didn't. United came in for a Drussiganagueye, and I told him to piss off, basically. And then he weren't very happy, and then Tom Davis and Adlom and Lookman came into my room, and they was like, well, what are you not selling him for? And I was like, well, he's going to make our team better. And they went, oh, shit, never thought of that one before. Yeah, cheers, boss, nice one. Retard.
Right. Anyway.
Yeah.
So that's Xhaka. It's been a very debatable topic with Xhaka. It'll be interesting to see if any Arsenal fans have anything to say about that.
They're all going to disagree with me, aren't they? But fuck them.
On another note, Leicester City, to finish the podcast. Right, so we're looking at Leicester, they're high flying. Is it momentum, or do they genuinely have the class to break into that top four? And if so, which teams are pushed out?
I think it's momentum, to be honest, H. I do, although when you look at their starting 11, they have got every piece of the jigsaw. They've got a great keeper, two brilliant fullbacks. I would love Chilwell and Pereira at Spurs.
I think their fullbacks are nothing short of sensational. I can't deny it. I think they're nothing short of sensational.
I do love the way that their centre backs defend. I like the old school.
Johnny Evans. You know what I love about Leicester?
Yeah. When
they sold Maguire for 80 million, they could have easily went and overpaid on someone like Nathan Ake.
Yeah.
They could have easily went and overpaid on a centre back, but they actually backed their man.
Yeah.
Soyuncu.
Yeah.
And him and Johnny Evans just look solid.
I do love that. I do love it when a centre back partnership, their priority is getting that ball away from the box as quickly as possible, which is what I would have my defenders do, and I can't be asked with this ball playing defender thing. It's too high risk, and I know that if my dad's sitting there watching this, he'll be rolling his eyes because he was always a play out from the back kind of guy.
Yeah.
I think they're two holding midfielders, Tielemans and Ndidi, are a brilliant partnership.
I think Tielemans, you know, I love that because Ndidi, in my opinion, sits there and unlocks. He allows. You see, with some centre mid partnerships, one player allows the other player to kind of thrive.
Yeah.
Ndidi doesn't get enough praise for what he allows Tielemans to do.
Yeah.
Tielemans can run his game, which then benefits Maddison further up the pitch.
Yeah.
It's like a chain reaction. It all starts with Ndidi.
Yeah.
And it all kind of starts with the centre-backs getting the ball away from goal.
Yeah. Maddison, I don't know why Spurs didn't sign him, to be honest. I think he is a brilliant number 10. Probably should be starting for England at this rate.
I think he will start for England in the next warm-up. Next qualifiers.
Perez and...
Did Perez raise your eyebrows when they signed him for 30 mil from Newcastle? Because I didn't rate him. I didn't rate him as a £30 million player.
Today's money? No, not really. I think he's good.
You think
I thought he would have been playing as a number 10, but Leicester are now doing what Spurs used to do, where I remember when we had Kane, Eriksen, Ali and Sonny, and all they'd just be like fluid, they'd be like swapping each other's positions and that. Yeah. Leicester are now doing that with their front three, with Maddison, Perez and Harvey Barnes as well, and I think Harvey Barnes is a brilliant player.
I think they found a gem there in Harvey Barnes. He was very good at West Brom for the half the season he was there.
Yeah. Was he at West Brom, was he?
On loan, yeah.
Oh, shit. I didn't even remember that.
Thrived.
Vardy, obviously...
Vardy speaks for himself.
Brilliant striker.
I think he's an absolutely sensational striker.
Yeah. I think they got the piece of the puzzle there. Brendan Rodgers is a great manager, obviously. We all doubted whether he was going to come in and actually do stuff at Leicester. I could go and do...
Go back to episode 1, episode 2 of the podcast.
Yeah.
I have said from day that Brendan Rodgers is a class manager. What he did with Liverpool was so underestimated. Then he went to Celtic. Yeah, he had it easy at Celtic, but you got to remember, he was overlooking Celtic when Rangers came back into the league. So he had to like...
Yeah, but
No, I'm not having that.
I don't want to disrespect our Jock listeners, you know. But do we even have any listeners from Scotland?
I think we had like 2%, you know.
Fuck no.
Big up the Scots.
Nah, don't big up the Scots, you fucking Jock bastards.
Well, that's getting cut out.
I think Brendan Rodgers is a very good manager. Have you seen the Brendan Rodgers thing? John Joe Shelby, the king of the golf course, the king of the golf.
No.
Oh my days! I'll show you after the podcast. It's brilliant. Yeah, I think he's a really good manager. We all questioned whether he was going to do it in the Prem after he came from Celtic and basically pissed the league. Turns out he can, but I think that they're going off momentum, and I think that their squad depth will basically come into play later on down the line, because I feel like they're one of them teams where if someone influential gets injured,
Vardy, I think for me, Vardy, Maddison, Evans, they're the three players. Vardy and Ndidi.
Yeah,
especially Vardy.
You could make a case for every single one of them players. If they get injured, then Leicester are not going to be the same team.
The thing is though, Chilwell got injured and Fuchs stepped up to the plate.
Fuchs ain't done no more, is he?
Yeah.
Still that?
He played for the first few games of the season.
Oh shit.
He stepped up to the plate when Chilwell was injured. Centre half there, you got Wes Morgan coming in, getting on a bit, isn't he?
Old slow. Aki would say that he's losing his legs.
Yeah. I wouldn't say slow. Yeah. Just that video he put on the Leicester City YouTube channel where he actually does a sprint and he completes it in like 13 seconds or something. 100 metre. So,
seriously?
Yeah, he's actually rapid. But
fair enough then, I'll take that back. I will admit when I'm wrong. I guess he's not slow. I thought he's slow anyway.
If Leicester, say this carries on, because I can see Leicester losing to the big boys but beating every single club in the other 16, the other 14 or whatever. Who do they knock out the top four? Because for me, City and Liverpool obviously have their place secure.
It's just a whole other conversation, this.
Quick glance though. Who's finishing top four for you right now?
Well, obviously two of the fucking City, Liverpool. At the moment, Oh mate, it's so hard to call. It's more like who's not finishing top 4 at the moment. Because you can make a case.
You know
for
what
all
I think?
of them.
You know what I think the top 4 nowadays is based on?
Go on.
What time you peak.
Yeah.
If you peak at the end of the season, so we're going to look at this. United. You know when they came out of nowhere when Solskjaer took over with the caretaker role?
Yeah.
Everyone thought, oh, here they go, they're going to get top 4. They peaked at the wrong time because they had a dismal end to the season.
Oh, yeah.
Chelsea, on the other hand,
It peaked really early.
Peaked really early and then peaked really late and pushed themselves into a Europa League winning final and into the top 4.
Yeah.
So I think Chelsea really they show it for themselves, don't they? They deserve that spot. I think Spurs died off towards the end. They were lucky that
we don't know what we're going to get from Spurs at the moment. Also, Arsenal. You could genuinely put. I don't know who I'd put my money on finishing top 4. If I was a betting man, I would probably say Spurs and Arsenal.
Just trying to say you're not a betting man.
Not at the moment, because my bank card's still linked to an under-18 account, and I can't get it changed till 23rd of December.
Poor. Can't wait to see your accumulators. Get loads off them, ain't you? Anyway, I don't know. I think they've got the class again. It's just squad depth in it with Leicester. I think they're better.
Yeah.
If you compare their starting lineup, compared to Spurs right now.
Well, the way that Pochettino's been picking the players,
Man for man. Let's have a look at this. Man for man. Lloris,
better keeper.
Lloris and Schmeichel.
Better keeper, better left back, better right back.
Can't.
Yeah.
So I want you to tell me from each of these players who you're taking. Lloris, Schmeichel.
You're better than Lloris, so I'll take Schmeichel.
What?
You're better than Lloris.
Oh, I'm better than Lloris.
Yeah. I'm probably better than Lloris.
Chilwell or Rose?
Chilwell.
Evans or Alderweireld?
Alderweireld.
Vertonghen or Soyuncu?
It's more like Sanchez at the moment, or Soyuncu.
Sanchez or Soyuncu?
I'd take Soyuncu because I think that Sanchez is still quite dodgy.
Pereira or Aurea?
Oh, Pereira all day. Jesus Christ.
Winks or Ndidi?
Different type of player. It's probably more.
Diet or Ndidi?
It's probably more Ndombele or Ndidi, and I'd take Ndombele.
Sissoko or
Tielemans all day. Tielemans.
Maddison or Dele Alli?
Maddison
or Ericsson?
Maddison.
Son or Perez? Vardy or Kane?
Kane.
Lamella.
Oh Jesus, anyone.
I was going to say Lamella or I don't know, Harvey Barnes.
Probably Harvey Barnes, to be honest. Mate.
Really?
Yeah.
No, that's surprising.
Lamella's overhyped anyway.
Okay, so
that's probably like a 50-50 split in it.
Yeah, roughly.
Which gives massive credit to Leicester, really, because they've done it with a lot of they are basically how Spurs used to be, where they don't spend massive amounts of money, buy young players, and just play really attractive football as well.
I did think Claude Puel got a lot of stick last season. Because they were hovering 7th, 8th for a while.
Didn't he got sacked because of the way that they play, innit?
Something like that, yeah.
How can you sack a manager? How can you sack a manager over his playing style?
I understand it.
You understand why you'd sack a manager over playing style?
Yeah.
Why?
If you're at Leicester's level, you're
Are you getting the results? Because he was getting the results.
Yeah.
Is that not all that matters?
No. Here's the thing. Leicester, they were stamped in between 6th and bottom end of the league. It gets to that point where what more can you really get? They're getting the results, yeah, but you may as well. If Rodgers is available, you get him. If you're just below top 6.
It was a risk that I wouldn't have taken, but fair play to them for taking it. It's obviously paid off. But I can't. I don't see how you could sack a manager over playing style if he's getting the results.
Yeah, if he's getting the results, then fair enough.
But he was though.
Was he overall?
He was getting where Leicester. He was probably getting the maximum out of Leicester.
I don't know. I think they would have been disappointed to finish below Wolves and not get that Europa League.
Yeah, but Wolves had one of them seasons, didn't they?
Yeah, it's a bit weird on the Wolves. We'll talk on Wolves in the future podcast because it's an interesting concept.
It is. It's all changed at Wolves, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's not what...
They got rid of the director of football, didn't they, or something?
Well, I'll tell you what, I just find it fascinating how they're doing so well in Europe. And then...
That's crazy, isn't it?
They're literally stomping their group, but in the league, they're really struggling.
Oh yeah, but it is natural, though, and it's the Europa League effect. But anyway, that's for another podcast.
Anyway, yeah.
What have we got in the pipeline, Dan? We said Messi v Ronaldo.
Messi versus Ronaldo.
You're obviously a big Messi fan, aren't you?
We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about Messi versus Ronaldo.
Yeah, it's got to get so heated.
I think...
Talk about Wolves. We said we talked about something else earlier, didn't we? I can't remember what it was.
Oh, what was it? We said we talk about Wolves. We said we talk about Ronaldo.
VAR.
VAR. We talk about VAR for weeks.
Oh God, yeah.
But I think something about Liverpool, wasn't it?
We probably need Alan Shearer in there to talk about VAR, so we actually have someone to argue with.
Yeah. Prick. Anyway, I think we're going to wrap the podcast up there. It's been a one that was taken up mainly by talk about the punditry, which was something we wanted to do for a bit of fun. I enjoyed it. It was interesting getting a bit of insight of you to what you think.
Thanks.
From what you want from a pundit, and I think it'll be interesting to see what the people at home want in a pundit from their point of view as well. But anyway, thanks for listening, guys. Be sure to tune into episode 9 next week. Matt, I think 10 weeks is rapidly approaching.
I didn't even think we'd get it past 2.
Neither. But again, anyone supporting, make sure you share this to a football fan if you're not a football fan yourself. If you made it this far on the podcast, as always, much appreciated.
How do you do it?
How do you do it? Anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week. See you in a bit.